Hey everyone, it's Andy with barchefs.com. Today I'm going to give you a few quick tips on how to help you solder these little LED strips into place. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Today I'm just going to show you how to connect these two joints here on some little scrap pieces of LED. Those are going to connect to there, to there. You can see I've already got my solder gun ready to go. So let me get you positioned where you can see nicely. After I'm done, I'll also put one of these little wiring harnesses on there just so you can see how I attach them nice and clean. What you want to do, you see these are kind of loose. Most of them have an adhesive. If you have an adhesive, I'd go ahead and peel the section real close to where you're going to be soldering. The reason I just do it like that now is so that I can stick it directly to my surface. Doesn't even have to be the final surface. I just stick it down so that it won't move. And what you want to do is align the correct spots, positive to positive, data to data, ground to ground, or if you're working with a 4-wire LED, it'll be, you'll have something like RBG, positive or something along those lines. Just make sure they're all aligned. Take a little bit of time to really get good results with aligning your things. Don't have one down here and off alignment. If you can get perfect alignment, that's going to help you greatly, and that's why I go ahead and stick them to the table like that, just so they can't move. Once you're ready to go ahead and make sure your soldering tip is warm or ready for solder. Now, if you'll notice, this side here already has a little bit of solder. I don't ever rely on that. I always re-tin every connection just because I don't know, what's going on with it, how old it is, if it's been used. So I just hit these real quick with a little dab of fresh solder. Then I'm going to go in here. I'm not concentrating on making a connection right now. I'm concentrated on tinning these three that are not. So I'm going to go in here. I'm gonna dab, dab, dab. It did make a full connection, but that's not my goal. My goal is just simply to get a nice solder. Now, usually my third step is to go in and make sure they're all connected, but in this case, they are all connected, probably because of the angle of my solder gun, it was connected. So we're good to go. Now, if not, usually I would do a dot, 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 and then I would put a little bridge in the middle and make it combine. So now I want to connect this wiring harness here. We can see that to this point here. The first step, I'm going to take you from scratch, is I usually, no matter what, I'll usually cut off what's there. Although these are good, I'm going to take you through the full process just so you see. So I would make sure I have a nice clean edge to start from. And then I'm going to use my wire strippers here. And I spent a lot of time working with these lengths. You want the length to really match the copper. I'm just good at doing it, but you see that? You want it the same length. You don't want it longer. You don't want it shorter. You want to shoot for getting the exact same length as that attachment so that you're utilizing the full length. You want the best connection you can get, but you don't want extra wire here that can bend and touch each other. Now, once you strip them, make sure you just kind of make sure they're straight, that you don't have any strands shooting off, because that can give you a short. Then you're just going to take a little bit of solder and you're going to pre-tin those wires. I usually hold the solder from the opposite end of the wire. You want the solder to go through the wire. You don't want to put a bead on top of it. So I put my solder there and I go from the back so that solder pulls all the way through all the threads. You see this one here, it looks a little like the solder's on top, so I'm just going to hold it there for a second and you'll see that solder pulls right into the wire. Okay, before I attach this here, again, I want to pre-tin each spot. So I'm just going to go here. And again, when I heat these, I'm putting the solder gun down on the pad, but I'm not putting the solder to the tip. I'm putting the solder over here. So this is just gonna heat this area up, and then the solder is gonna run onto this plate, not onto my tip. Here, See that? Here. There. Now I'm ready to connect. Now it's important to always get the right angle. Try to always be soldering where it's comfortable. So if you're not comfortable, turn your piece or your body to where you're the correct way. Now I'm simply going to align the correct positive to there. I'm going to use green for my data here. I'm going to put my ground on. If I zoom in close now, you can see I got some really good connections. One more thing, guys. When you're doing these connections, I want to show you a bad connection. If I just barely solder this, it'll be up in the air, but it'll still be connected. I want to make sure this piece is all the way down touching that tab. So once I heat it, see right now it's on, but it's not really connected good. You want metal to metal. You don't want a solder bridge. So watch it closely. You're going to see it go down. Make sure all your joints are down. Hope you guys can see that. Now it's all the way down metal to metal. That's what you want to shoot for. Hope that helps, guys. Check us out at barchefs.com for some of our cool products. Be sure to call us if we can help you with anything.